What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to Strange Brew.
What's happening?
I got my co-host Anton, and I have Bewitched Banter here. Amy and Krista, right? I'm saying that right?
Yes, you got it.
Awesome. And this is Strange
Hey,
Brew.
Jose. Yeah, what? Listen to this what's coming. You know what it is? What? It's
Podcast.
Tom loves his
Love
openings.
it.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? So this is a swapcast style episode. As I said, I am Tomcat, and we are going to be talking ghost stories. And I'm actually not drinking because I was hungover as fuck. Are you surprised, Anton?
No,
Are you surprised I'm not drinking though? I did smoke a CBD.
I am.
joint, so-
Yes, I'm very surprised that you're not drinking. Also, what you just say? You smoke diet weed?
I said CBD.
Yeah, you smoke diet.
Oh,
weed.
diet
Yeah, I guess it is diet weed.
I
I got
wish-
the. It looks like a cigarette, and this lady said to try them at the pot shop. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking try this shit.
Well, maybe if diet weed could be a thing where you don't get the munchies, that would be pretty badass.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
alright.
You know, I'd be down
Fair.
with that.
Yeah.
Every time I hit the bong, I just want to eat a whole bag of chips.
Oh, same. That's
I
half the
want a
fun
whole
for me.
pizza. I mean, that's chips. I want the whole meal.
I want French
Yep.
fries. That's
Oh my god,
demand.
same.
So I guess for your listeners, we kind of do everything strange. Is the whole point of the show. Is we drink, we smoke up, and we talk about everything and anything strange, from true crime to paranormal to serial killers and
Cryptids.
all that, cryptids, all that type of fun jazz. And you guys kind of do the same. So when you guys want to describe how you guys do things, what you're all about?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the skeptic in house for sure. I don't
No doubt.
believe in any of the paranormal. I would say I probably am an atheist. And we try to dive more into like the history of how things became. Like, so how did psychics actually become a thing? And then a little bit we do like stories to embellish the history as well. And Krista is like our
I'm a hippie.
Yeah, I like to
believe in shit. But I also, she's gotten me really skeptical in the last year. I have to say, she's done really good work on making me be critical thinking. The ironical thing is that whoops, Jen. The ironic thing is that I'm a journalist by trade. So, but yet I've always had the spiritual tie to my intuition, and I'm pointing right there because I believe in that. But but I've always believed in paranormal, like horoscopes, all the shit that's woo-woo or hippie or like dismissed as like bullshit. I believe that there's a certain population of human beings on this planet that do have special abilities and gifts. And I certainly believe in ghosts. We talked about this yesterday. I am not giving that shit up. I believe in it forever.
I've seen some crazy shit in my life. So, what are your guys' signs? We are both fucking Scorpios.
I'm
Yeah.
a Gemini, so I'm a two-faced bitch.
I'm a Libra, so I have two scales as well, but I tend to be more judicial, supposedly balanced, not quite. We're working on that.
Don't
but,
Libra have like a lot of anger issues?
I mean,
Don't worry, yeah, Scorpios are fucking weirdos. So it
I think
makes
that's
sense.
just a byproduct of living in America at this point in time right now, though. So
Oh, 100%. Like, how could you be like
can't.
mentally sound at this point?
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're saying there's something wrong, there's a really good Robert Anton Wilson quote that I don't have prepared right now, but it's basically you've never seen a fully sane human being because of everything going on constantly.
amen.
Yeah.
Especially
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
So you've never had any ghost experiences, anything like that? Never seen anything strange or out of the unusual?
Nothing. I was like, my entire family's atheist too. So are you guys like, I always wonder if people lean more paranormal if they have a religious background, even if you're still not religious. My entire family's atheist, and we had my dad's cousin was a pastor, and he was like the black sheep of the
I
family.
didn't know that.
And
Really?
yeah, my whole family's from England, so it's much more common not to be religious there.
Right.
Yeah, so I was never raised in a church. I went with friends. I got creeped out. I remember I went one time and someone was like talking in tongues, and I was terrified, literally. And I was like, for a while I believed it. Like, I even tried to save myself at one point, and then I tried to save my dogs. I'm like, oh, my parents aren't coming with me. And then I was like 10, and then I stopped believing in all that stuff.
I have a pretty heavy background in being raised in the church. My grandparents were Northern Baptist, or are Northern Baptist.
What sect? I was Roman Catholic.
Okay.
So.
I attended a Catholic school for like a month. But I started the first 3 years of school that I went to were all in a Christian academy, basically. But ever since, like, even since I was a little kid, like, I like half bought it. Had a bunch of shit with my mother being like absolutely insane and getting into like end of days shit and just terrifying me as a child.
Did you have like house prep stuff? Like, did you have?
No, they weren't preppers. She was a lazy doomsday person.
Like, shit's coming, but I'm too lazy to do anything about
Just
it.
fucking figure it out, kids.
Yeah, just shit's coming, but you know, Jesus is gonna take care of it, so it's fine. It's like, yeah, that's good, cool,
That works.
great,
Mom.
yeah.
Wow,
But
okay.
I've been more or less just a staunch atheist since early adolescence. I fell out of. I mean, being a queer youth and shit and being in a church is like, this isn't for me.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not religious fucking at all. But I believe in aliens, different dimensions, ghosts. I believe we have a soul. I highly believe in an afterlife. I've read a lot of books about
You do or
people
don't?
near-death experiences. I believe, in
Me
the
too.
afterlife. And there's tons of like, and why I believe it is I've had my own weird experiences. And I've said it many times, but just to repeat it, since we're talking about ghost stuff, I have seen weird shadow people. I had a whole experience when I came back from Cuba where it felt like something was trying to fucking rip my soul, my body. My fiance was fucking sleeping beside me. I was 19, and I was freaking out, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Every time I'd open my eyes, I would see these shadow creature things looking down at me. I was fucking sober as a judge, and I've never experienced this.
Yeah,
And I had sleep paralysis.
Shout out.
I'm diagnosed.
Their sleep paralysis episode.
I'm diagnosing you right now. I'm like, that sounds like sleep paralysis.
It is, and sleep paralysis has to do with the shadow people because
Yeah.
they're essentially holding you down or trying to exhume your soul or your energy. And I was like really low because my buddy got left in Cuba, and as I was leaving, he was singing "Fuck Cuba, fuck Castro." So I was worried about my buddy, and I was like, Jesus, he's gonna go in a fucking Cuban jail. And then I got home, and it felt like someone was trying to rip my soul out of my body. I couldn't fucking move my body. I had sleep paralysis. I could see everything. And when I stood up to walk towards the washroom, I had to take a piss. Walk towards the door, I saw an 7 foot tall shadow creature look down at me, and it was as real and clear as day. And I walked through it, and I went in the mirror, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with you, man? And so I've had my own experiences, so that's why I tend to believe people that are sane, normal, everyday people, even like an alien abductees that are like just outstanding citizens of society, normal, sane people that end up having these crazy ass experiences. And then you have people with near death experiences that see other lives or stuff beyond this reality. And it could be the DMT in your brain, but I won't know
Could
until I'm dead.
be.
That's what
No,
I
I'm with
think.
you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So we in our sleep paralysis episode, and I think I've always been a believer, just innately since I can remember. But I want to say when I was going to college, the crazy transition time of life or whatever, and again we cover it in sleep paralysis. But I had it on the regular time to the T with my sister. And we'd call each other the next day because she was away at Michigan for college. And I was ready to go to college, to ASU, far as fuck from Connecticut. And so we were both really nervous. She was a freshman. 9/11 had happened. And I'm trying to go to college too. And like, she's like, did it happen again? It happened again. Literally the same time every fucking night. And I remember it was always at my friend Jessica Tyrell's house every fucking time. And that shit, her house was motherfucking haunted. Anyway, that was another story. But like, I was stuck in her bed and could not fucking move. And I just remember being like, oh my God, is she awake? Is she awake? What's happening? What's happening? It was always at the crack of dawn. And it was always like you said.
I've only had it once.
You can't breathe. You
That has
can't
to do with
breathe.
REM, doesn't
And
it?
there's somebody stuck on you and you can
Yeah.
hear and you're paralyzed. And it's like, and Amy's like, bitch, it's this and this and this and this. I'm like, no, let me tell you, I experienced what I experienced and it was real as day. And so I believe too, because I experienced it and there's no other explanation for it. You know,
that's why I tend to believe people, especially like I said, they're sane. And because I've had my own shit and I would want people to believe me. So I'm more or less like, okay, this person, like you got Benny and Barty Hill that got abducted by aliens in the 1960s, the first actual like recorded alien abduction. And they were two normal people, a black man, a white woman. It wasn't really cool at the time. And we did a whole episode on it. And they were just pretty outstanding people. Like they were sane, they were credible, and they claimed to be taken aboard a fucking saucer that had Nazis, reptilians, and grays on it.
So not to shift gears and go back to the sleep paralysis thing, but I've also had one instance of sleep paralysis in my entire life. I was absolutely shithouse hammered that day, though. It was a St. parade. And my buddy had made Riot Punch, which has like ginseng supplements in it and stuff, plus a whole bunch of other booze. So I'm sleeping on my bed. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just like, I can't move at all. And I'm on my side. was like starting to get a little freaked out because I couldn't move. And then I just hear, "It's okay, I'm here." And I feel something like slide up behind me. And I was just like, nope, fuck.
Anton, I'm so sorry. No, I have chills because one of my experiences was another friend's houses, and I was having another sleep paralysis. This was the same time of life, senior year in high school. And it was, instead of "I'm here, it's okay," it was like, "Who are you? You're not supposed to be here."
Oh,
and then I have chills because it was like demonic, like, get out of this realm. And I was like sucked back in.
Maybe it was your alter ego.
Real in your ear too. Like it's like I felt this thing like it was somebody putting their arms around me, and I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to be comforting, but it's not.
I'm here.
No.
Well,
I use a little singing bowl just for meditation, not for any supernatural reasons, but for like just to calm myself down. And as soon as I regained like my faculties again, I smacked that fucking thing and was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I just let the tone carry out, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good. But again, I'm not a believer. So yeah,
that's the thing. She doesn't believe, but she had night terrors. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you're right though about the REM. Like and that could be a thing with you and your sister, is you're just genetically on the same like wave almost.
But I do have to qualify. She is a medical doctor, by the way. So she knows her shit, right? And she even called me freaking out. She's like, "This is impossible. What the fuck?" And she looked it up. I'll never forget. She looked it up that day, and she found the sleep paralysis. Okay, this is the diagnosis. This is what we're experiencing. And I said, "Bitch, this is paranormal. I don't give a shit what your doctor friends say. This is not of this world."
But I fully believe we don't understand our brains completely. Doesn't matter like how much technology or like science, like we'll never fully grasp like how our brain works. So I don't believe you guys didn't see these things, but I think it's your brain playing tricks on you.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that as well.
Have you ever experienced
being like I was hammered, and like that's a very common thing with sleep paralysis as well. Apparently, is like the more you drink, the more it's likely to occur.
Have you ever experienced any psychedelics? Have you guys ever used mushrooms or acid or anything?
I was talking about that last night. I was on Krista's dating app and swiping left and right for her, having fun. And this guy says he's into psychedelics. I'm like, I'm not into him, but I just want a drug hookup.
She wants a shroom app. So if y'all have one in Phoenix, let us know.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I just ordered myself mushrooms. I can order from the internet, and they come from BC within 2 days. Yeah, it comes in. They're already at they're already at my post office. I got to pick them up tomorrow. I got blue meanies, Anton. So
there's plenty of sites you can go on that'll hook you up. It's just discreet, packaging. It's the old Mitch Hedberg joke. It's like, my favorite person in the world is the mailman because he's a drug dealer and he don't even know it.
Oh my God, Mitch Hedberg, that's a throwback. Good one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of psychedelics, and I do believe that you can use them to tap into a subconscious state and probably see things that are like, I had a friend that was schizophrenic when I was growing up, and we'll get in eventually about Ouija boards and stuff like that. And he was older. I met him through I went to this fucking counseling shit because I was a piece of shit kid, and so he showed me how to use the Ouija board and to make a Ouija board from scratch. And I was like 11, 12, and then my grandma gave me one eventually. Now I have 3. One's fucking behind me. And then and I always believed that he was just seeing and hearing shit that I couldn't see, because he'd walk past churches and hear screaming. He swore that there was a spirit living in his house that would choke him in the middle of the fucking night. And he would wake up with hands around his throat and stuff like that. And I believed that his brain was just wired differently.
That was his reality. Yeah.
So maybe he was able to see things that I couldn't see. Because either way, we see 10% of visual reality. We can't see much. We don't see ultraviolet gamma rays, all that stuff. So there is that idea that there's something beyond the fringes of our reality that we'll never understand.
I'll never say it's not possible, but I will definitely say that's implausible in my opinion. But I mean,
you're implausible.
I agree on that.
Okay, so here's my thing about ghosts. To bring it back to today's topic, if we go scientific, and I've said this 1,000 times, Amy, but if we go scientific, energy and matter cannot be created and or destroyed, right?
Yes.
How the fuck, when we die, are we then destroyed and nothing?
I have a response for that, actually, because I used to think the same thing. So energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only change forms, right?
Yeah.
So
supposedly.
when you die, your body begins to break down in chemical reactions. It is the energy slowly dissipating and becoming different things. Your energy is becoming gas, which goes into the soil. Then you get nitrogen in that. Then you have, it becomes grass at one point in time. Something eats that grass. Then it just slowly dissipates and spreads out.
Okay, but
Yeah, I like this.
That's ignoring.
Yeah, she's like, clap back, bitch.
soul.
I got someone on my team finally.
Anton's not always on the right team, so it's okay.
No,
According
it's
to
always me.
Tom.
I'm the odd man out.
No, I just am very open because I've had experiences, right? Like I've seen shadow people. I've used Ouija board since I was a very young kid, where we called like Harold Houdini, and he told us jokes. And like my aunt is Jamaican and played the Ouija board. Well, use the Ouija board. Told me not to use it by myself. And when I was 16, I went home and I would like just drink and use the fucking Ouija board with my cat beside me and shit.
That's what my grandfather did. Shit. And that I never touched it, but I was like, "Fuck no, nobody's following me home." But my cousins and my sister would play all the time, and I was like, "Y'all have fun."
So I've given you shit for this before, Tom, but yeah, you guys contacted Harry Houdini. Yeah. So
it probably wasn't him.
He had no intention of ever contacting his wife, who did it every single year on his birthday to try and prove it. But a couple of pissant teenagers, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to them.
I said that we thought that we were talking to him, and we were stupid, dumb kids. But as I used the Ouija board more often and started to read books to understand the paranormal side of shit, I started to realize that whatever I'm talking to could be very well my subconscious. But if it's not, and it's something that the Ouija board, when I started getting into aliens, started telling me that it was something that was still alive, that it wasn't a dead body, like it still had a physical body. It was just on another reality plane that we couldn't see, and that they understood how our reality works. So they kind of are like, it's like an interface where they're kind of just beyond the fringes of our eyesight. Yeah.
What I'm taking
Harry Houdini's like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm tired.
These motherfuckers. I haven't proven it yet that it's not existent. What?
I'm dead. Just leave me alone.
Like we called Tupac, but Tupac's probably in Cuba, so it's.
That's right. You saw him in Cuba.
You didn't do the South Park Biggie Smalls in front of the mirror.
Oh my god! So like Bloody Mary, but Biggie.
Yeah,
that's funny. I haven't seen that shit.
I love that Halloween episode.
Actually, Bloody Mary is another childhood classic that also scared me shitless, and I never did it because I was such a believer. Just again,
we used to do Candyman, which is so fucking stupid. We're like 10, and we do like Candyman, and it's just like it's a movie. So me and my buddy like kind of believed it and started doing it in the mirror, and fucking scare the shit out of each other. And it's like so stupid. It's a movie, man.
So stupid, but scary nonetheless because of your brain, right? This is the scientific piece I did study, where like you matrix shit in the mirror, and so you make what you want to see. But
try doing psychedelics and staring at yourself in the mirror. It is the fucking craziest shit in the entire world.
We're looking at your phone.
Yeah, the phone is trippy, but man, I stared at myself for a good like 15 minutes, and my girlfriend was like, "What are you doing up there?" And I was like, "I just want to look at myself for a while."
Were you impressed? Were you like, "Oh, I look good"?
Oh, no, I look like a fucking reptilian. Like I started to split and shit, and like all these geometric patterns, and my eyes look like cat's eyes. It was fucking nuts.
See, and that goes with my whole thing of all you're doing when you're taking psychedelics is exploring your own mind. It's like I came across a video the other day on YouTube. I don't know how, but this, dude that like grew up in the church and like was really religious and stuff was like, I took psychedelic mushrooms and God told me he could kill me whenever he wanted to, and this and that. I was like, yeah, because your brain is reinforcing your own bullshit by tripping that hard. And it's like, this is why I don't tell Christians to take psychedelics. I'm like, no, we're just going to get crazier.
Jesus Christ.
Big bearded man shows up. It's like, I could kill you at any time.
We interviewed a gal yesterday in the Mormon church. How was it for you growing up Baptist?
Oh God. I had to
he grew up underneath a priest
so much shit from my own brain, because it was like my grandparents were Baptist, and then my mom's parents were like super weird Reformed Lutherans, because my grandfather was actually like Reformed Jewish, because my family lived in Russia. And then it was like, oh shit, they're trying to kill us. Then they ran to Germany and they're like, oh fuck, we got to leave. And then they got to Canada. And when they immigrated, we changed from Jewish to like Protestant, like in the span of one boat trip. It was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're done.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my dad was Pentecostal, as well as like weird, like everybody was weird apocalyptic Christians except for my mom's parents.
No.
And
except for your lazy doomsday prepper.
I like it. The world's ending, but I couldn't give a shit to do
pretty
anything.
Much. Yeah. They're all just like, nah, we're all just gonna get raptured up. It's fine. And I'm like, no, we're not.
Ain't gonna happen.
So there were many days spent when I was a child, like sitting up late at night waiting for the trumpet of the Lord to sound and everything to go off. And I was like,
Nuh-uh,
it deeply
seriously?
damaged me so badly as a kid. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm not anti-religion in the sense that I don't think anybody should be religious, because it's like for some people, I feel like it's the same thing with like certain artists and drugs. It's like you're just a better person if you have this in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
But for me, I'm just like, this is dumb, and I'm going to raise objection to it whenever it's used in a way that would be to deny somebody else of their basic human rights.
Absolutely.
Like,
the only time I used religion was when I prayed for a lightsaber.
I agree though. Like I'm the same way about religion. It's like I think that it's okay to have your beliefs, but when you start not questioning things or being small-minded or putting your beliefs on other people, that's when I'm like, no, that's not okay.
I agree.
100%. I'll tell them to fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like religion in general from my experience growing up, but I try, quote, be open-minded about it.
I got family
that's
I have family that's pretty religious, and like it's my aunt, she's Jamaican, and my uncle, he looks exactly like Ned Flanders. He is the embodiment of Ned Flanders. He's like super religious as crazy hell, and their daughter, so my cousin's boyfriend, is super religious. One of those nerdy guys that has huge gums when he smiles.
Sweaters and all.
It's weird. We're at a fucking brunch, and then I was talking about how there's aliens mentioned in the Bible and stuff, how they came down to earth and seated with the women after they found them beautiful after they were created.
Talking the Nephilim, yeah.
Yeah, and then he fucking pulled out a Bible from his fucking back pocket. He's like, "Show me where it is." And I was like, "You're fucking psycho, man."
Did you pull out your phone, look it up, and then get the verses?
No, I pulled out the Satanic Bible and I said, "Fucking read this."
Good for you.
I was gonna walk around the Satanic Bible in my back pocket.
That was me in high school. I gave out so many copies of that book. It's not even funny. Where I was like, "You should read this because you're an idiot."
I love it.
Well, we also covered Satanism. Sorry, I'm doing their selfless, shameless plugs, and I had no idea how fucking cool they are. Like,
so
it's just about being
about that. I saw that you guys just did your like what happened with the whole protecting Roe v. Wade type thing. Did you interview LaVeyan Satanists or TST Satanists?
Oh, we haven't interviewed anyone directly for those. We just did research and reported back out what we found. But what's the difference? Actually, school us, because I'm fascinated.
So
we cover Anton LaVey, obviously, but I don't know the other one.
Okay, so Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan was the one that was founded in the 60s. Yeah. That was the one that was it basically
really
ran.
Yeah.
It was counterculture to the hippie movement. They were like early punk, if you will, when they're just like, we're into sex and stuff, but fuck all the rest of the shit. We're assholes and contrarians, which I respect. I loved it. And then you have the Satanic Temple, which is the organization that exists right now, the one that I'm actually a card-carrying member of, mainly because I'm not giving the Church of Satan $300 for a fucking red card when there isn't a lot.
$300, damn.
We were curious, like, how you join even.
You just go on the website.
Because shit.
You just go on the website, pay them money, and there you go. And it's LaVeyan Satanism is just secular humanism. It's atheism with like woo-woo added to it, but they don't take it seriously.
Very theatrical.
And the Satanic Temple is more of a political organization. They're the ones that actually are supposed to be like fighting for Roe v. Wade. They're the ones that do the organization for access to reproductive health care and everything. And that one was founded by Lucian Graves, but they're not a
Milky Eye guy, right? Milky Eye man.
Yep.
Which is so sad that they lost that battle recently, but what are we gonna do?
I can't talk about it
in the States.
Texas.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah,
come here and
you
guys want to have fun with Trudeau. You guys can come here. You got fun with Trudeau. He's a fucking
yeah, he's honest. Exactly.
I was like, "What's up?"
What were you saying about Satanism and?
Oh, we were saying we interviewed her sister because she's a gynecologist and actually
she's an abortion provider. I mean,
abortion provider.
It's stigma. Oh, Jesus. Hello, Jen again.
But
thank you.
But she's the one who actually, and it's in Illinois, and all the surrounding states have made it where it's illegal. Yeah. So her clinic is going to be like bombarded, and they don't have like the infrastructure or the staff to like keep up with everyone who's going to be coming in. It's kind of crazy.
She's already been in the last 2 weeks. I haven't talked to her more than, and I usually talk to her every day. I talked to her maybe like I think twice in the last 2 weeks because she's been so over staffed or understaffed. Yeah. And it's just scary shit, man.
No, it's
Come on,
horrible.
Satanists, what's happening? We need that. And like,
Yes, exactly.
like coming from, again, like journalism background, First Amendment to me is everything. And how the fuck are these people going to come in and use religion as a means to control anyone's body? Women are not. And it's about anyone's voice, anyone's body.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
the
crazy.
problem.
It's crazy because those are the same people that are like, no, the Constitution says this and the Constitution says that. It's like, you are ignoring like the biggest fucking part of it, which is there is no state religion. Keep your fucking beliefs to yourself and out of the process of lawmaking.
Yeah, and I don't know how political you guys are, but I just find it comical that there is a lot of people being like, "Oh, my body, my choice" when it comes to abortion, but not vaccines, and that's what.
Yes,
that's
what I'm
pisses
like.
me
So,
off.
that's my point. I'm like,
So-
how the fuck are you gonna say my body, my choice when masks happen? Oh, but when it comes to a woman's choice, okay.
Well, my friend even had a really good point because he's vegan, and he was like, "Well, they're so worried about this cluster of cells, but then they go home and eat a huge steak."
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm vegan, but I'm just like, it was a good point though. It's like this little cluster of cells has like a grip hold on them for no fucking reason, and then it's like, but when when they're born, it's like, well, fuck you. You want help?
Yeah,
well,
I do believe you can be healthier.
They only care about it. They only care about it until it becomes a human being, and then it's like, oh, yeah, fuck off. We're done. We don't need you anymore.
Yep.
It's atrocious. It's absolutely fucking horrific.
Yeah,
I think though once you're on your like fourth one, that you should probably get a condom.
You think maybe vasectomy? I don't know.
Try the pull-out method.
Pull-out method.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's what Billy. That's my buddy Billy's method is, and I'm like, no, man, you're gonna get someone pregnant because I've been doing
it. Just been doing the pull-out, the old pull-out
for like
10
years, and I'm pretty good.
She's married. Let's qualify. Not that it matters if you're doing the pull-out method or not if you're married, but I'm like, girl.
I feel like it's still matters pregnant when I was 13. Kids. Like, just don't, you're risking it each time, but whatever.
That's true. Risk it for the biscuit, they say. All right, we get back into ghosts. I have a story that my buddy, actually my barber, fucking told me, one of my buddies, and I found it pretty interesting. And he's more of like a skeptic. He doesn't believe in all the alien shit that I do, but we talk as he cuts my hair about, the podcast, all the strange shit that's going on. He told me this story. It's pretty interesting. His buddy's had paranormal experiences his entire life, grew up in a very haunted house. And so he's got a kid now, a wife, and his kid starts seeing this figure every night. And his name, and he's like, what are you seeing? And he's like, oh, I see the shadow of this person. And he stands at the end of my bed. And he's like, that's weird. And he's like, yeah, he just stands there. And he's like, his name is Mr. Fox. And he always makes these popping sounds. And he was like, these popping sounds. He's like, pop, pop. And he's like, what the fuck is that? And it's really strange. So this keeps happening all the time. And he's going into the room with fucking nightmares. They think it's a nightmare. Like, hey, it's a nightmare. Go back to bed. And he keeps seeing this figure. So they're at his parents' house, the grandfather of the kid. And, they're like, he's like, yeah, he's telling him about the story. He's like, he keeps seeing this thing. It's really weird. And then he was like, what's it? Like, his name is Mr. Fox. And his dad looks at him weird, like the grandfather. And it's like, Mr. Fox. He was like, that was my father's name. That's what people used to call him. And then he was like, the popping sound was probably he's like, my father used to smoke on a corn cob pipe. And fucking the kid was fucking seeing this shit, and it's pretty crazy because I believe that kids you reincarnate. I totally believe in reincarnation, and that the whole point of life is that you're here to learn, and you go through cycles, and you'll keep coming back. If you fucking don't learn your lesson, say you're an alcoholic, like my uncle and aunt both died of drug and alcoholic overdose, so to speak. She had a tumor. And I believe they're going to keep coming back until they learn their fucking lesson. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's the karmatic universe and how this universe works. So it is weird that and then as you come into this universe, into this physical world, you still have connections to the other side. So kids are more likely to interact and see ghosts. And then they're walking through this park, and this kid's like, watch out behind you. And there was a fucking fox following them. And then they never saw a fox or have anything experienced like that again. It stopped.
Interesting.
It's fucking weird.
Have you guys ever seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. Have you seen that new?
Sorry, that's all I could think about. I was like, oh, if he was my ghost, I wouldn't mind.
That's what I was thinking when you told me the story. That movie is pure hilarious. There's that new one on Netflix called The House, and it's made by the same people, and it's really fucking creepy.
It's a new West
It's all these short stories, and they're all made with like the same kind of puppets, and it's the same people that created Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's actually like fairly creepy.
Okay, I'll go watch it.
Yeah, it's called The House. You should check it out. I think Anton, you like it.
Yeah, I love Fantastic. Well, the whole time I was like, well, Fantastic Mr. Fox was haunting me. That'd be kind of awesome.
No, or that what is it? The possum and his fucking eyes are all fucking.
Yeah, he looks like he's like
all whacked out. All right, so we can get to Krista, if you have any ghost stories, and then we can talk about Anton, and then get Amy's perspective and shit like that too.
Okay, so thank God I've never seen an apparition. Thank whomever, universe, because I actually put it out there. I said I have felt my family members around me that have passed countless times. I believe in that. I read cards. Tarot cards, I should be specify. And I definitely believe and always have, like I said, that family is always with you, no matter what, even in this realm or not. They're with you to support you. They're there for you.
Your spiritual guides, yeah.
Exactly. But I've never seen them. But I told my grandma, I said, Graham, you better never show your face ever again. I'm actually wearing, I have her necklace on me right now from Malaga, Spain, but she was very in tune with. She was a Spanish teacher. But yeah, I was like, hell no, I'm never, ever, ever. I said, you're not allowed to show yourself, okay? Like that's it. Like you're just not. And he's respected that because I don't think I could handle it. Like
my girlfriend's sister saw their grandfather peeking over the bed like this.
Yeah, no. I said explicitly, y'all, I love you. I know you're here. I know you're watching out. I can't handle seeing you. So
no, I would shit myself. I asked my grandfather to show me a sign after he died because he was like very like, oh, I'm just gonna die, go on the ground, and he hasn't shown himself yet. But I was like, I don't know if I want to see my fucking papa fucking just appear or something.
No.
I have a question though. Why, if you believe in ghosts, why do they always have to be associated with evil? Can't they just be like a friendly
They don't.
ghost?
I don't think they're always associated with evil.
They're not always associated with evil. It's just darker entities. If that's the idea, right? They exhume your energy. They when you feel sad and depressed, that's why I believe we live in the world that we do, that is in constant war and terror and fear, because these entities, these demonic creatures that are most likely, in my opinion, reptilian aliens, they use us as energy. So every time you're in fear, you're scared, you're crying, these things can use your energy. It's like psychic vampires, the same type of shit where these people just consume your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I like, maybe it's just the ghost stories I hear, they're always like terrifying. But I'm like, wouldn't that be nice if your nana or your granddad came to visit you and said hello? Like, to me, that sounds like a nice experience.
See, my mom's she's skeptical. She's a fucking nurse. We disagree on a lot of things. But she had a friend, Terry, that committed suicide, hung himself in his barn, and they played the Ouija board, actually the one I have, and they asked, they supposedly were talking to him, and it's funny because she's very skeptical about things now, but was more into horror movies and ghost stuff when she was younger, and they asked about the parents, and the shot gas flew across the fucking room and shattered. But she also, the one night she was thinking about it, was like 3-4 weeks after he died, and she turned on her side, turned off her light, and he was standing right there, and just as clear as day, like physically how I look, and fucking he said, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm in a better place, and and then he disappeared. So like,
that's cool. I mean, that probably was like healing for your mom.
100%, yeah. Because and they do supposedly show up, right? Like, and that's why you have spiritual guides. Those people will choose to stay. Like my fiance's mom is super into like the spirituality and stuff like that, and she's been to psychics where she's seen her past life, where she was actually like working in a field as a black woman, and her daughter was her sister in that life, and she saw it clear as day and stuff like that. Where she's had experience with psychics, and even talked to a psychic about her friend and that I think it was Anne, died of cancer, and now because she was such a great person and stuff like that, and a good human being, she was allowed to ascend, and now she's become a teacher on the next realm of reality. And I'm like, I keep saying, I'm listening to a lot of books at work and stuff like that. I'm on a book by David Wilcock called The Synchronicity Key, and as I'm listening to it, it's talking about the karmatic rules.
Is it about 11:11? Sorry to interrupt you.
What? Yeah.
11:11 is my syncretic thing lately.
If you see that a lot, and the whole book is about synchronicity.
Day for the last 2.5 years.
That is fucking weird.
Multiple
That is
times a
weird. There's definitely a message towards it. And every time I'm listening to this book, I'm like, I don't want to come back. I was like, show me a new planet. I want to go somewhere different. I don't want to come back because this place is a fucking shithole, in my opinion. And it's not because the people are good. It's because the people that run the show.
Right. Of those that have the power make it shitty for us everyday people.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anton, you got any ghost stories? I know you have like one, don't you?
So yeah, it's actually when you guys were all talking about grandparents and stuff, that's the story that I have. Is I did see my grandfather after he had passed away
Wow.
3 separate occasions, but they were all in dreams. But they were all very real to me in the dreams, and each time it was like I haven't seen him in a very long time. Each time though, it was at a really just rough period of life, and one of them was shortly after he died, and it was more I felt just to kind of assure me that things were okay, and that's why I'm like, to me that's more my unconscious mind just attempting to quell the fire of the emotions that I was dealing with at the time. But the first time I saw him, it was weird. Like he was, for some reason, dressed in the comical, like Dracula style, like vampire stuff.
Like Anton
yeah, very much of, like the Bram Stoker, red cape and everything. It's just like, okay, this is him just being a goon because that's how he was. Like he was my hero for the longest time. He was just everything that you would want a person to be, with a couple flaws here and there, but like was never mad at any of the grandkids, never yelled. I think we were playing ball in the basement at one point in time and broke a lamp, and the only thing he said was, "Is everyone okay?" Like, so yeah.
My grandfather slapped me for saying the F word.
My grandpa called me and my sister assholes for breaking his toilet. So
oh shit.
I had a bunch of friends over and they were all doing drugs. He didn't know that, but we were drinking and stuff like that. And it was in high school, and he didn't hit me until I said the word fuck. And as soon as I heard that, he fucking backhanded me with his meaty firefighter hands. And I'm like,
oh my god.
Fuck you. And I just want to say this quickly, that I had a dream about my grandfather, because talking about dreams, seeing grandfathers, and it was like dead silence where someone was controlling my grandfather as a fucking puppet, and he was like dead. And I was like, I woke up being like, what the fuck, man?
I got goosebumps on that one. That's terrible.
Like,
horrific.
So the second time I saw my grandfather, it was also like, I feel like, I don't know, I think he mainly just like, what I'm getting on these, like if it was him or if it was my mind, it was very much a I'm gone, I'm not here anymore. Because the second time I saw him, he looked like almost decaying kind of thing. So like if you've ever seen like American Werewolf in London, like the original,
yes, that's
where he keeps seeing his friend, and each time his friend looks more.
Oh
and more
yeah, that's true.
Stuff.
If you've guys have never seen American Werewolf in London, it is definitely worth a watch. It is.
She might have. The English in her.
I haven't.
I haven't seen it.
I know of it. I've never watched it.
Great movie.
It's worth it. It's arguably one of the greatest werewolf transformation scenes in film,
cinema history. Yeah.
All in all,
okay.
Yeah, it's a John Landis film as well. But I wasn't afraid, and I wasn't sad when I saw him like that. It was very much just a calming, comforting, like,
wow.
Okay. And then the third time it was very, very brief. Like I saw him in passing, and then it was gone. And to me, like I said, I think that's my brain just being like, process this in your own way, in your own time, and you'll be okay. In response to the 11/11 synchronicity thing, though, so my thing with synchronicities is like I'm very
not sure about it.
Yes. Yeah. Because, for example, like you do see stuff like that, and then there are times where a weird synchronicity where like you're talking to one person about something, and then it comes up with another person. We're not talking like phone stuff or anything like that. We're talking like actual, but in the same time, the logical version of that is, say you get a new car, and it's a brand that you're not usually driving. You're going to notice that car everywhere now.
Yeah.
Because your brain is now looking for that. And it's like, oh, there it is. You're just much more aware of things. So I think,
oops, there it is.
And your brain loves pattern. Like, and human nature loves pattern. They like finding recognition in things. Even like our brain just plays so many tricks on us.
It does. That'll give to y'all. But I don't know. I in our synchronicity episode actually about that 11/11, I don't consciously seek it out. And maybe
don't realize.
Maybe subconsciously I am.
You do.
Scientifically.
You
maybe
do.
I am. But literally every time I just look up to, let's say, go to the bathroom. And
the fact you're talking about it means you're seeking it out.
Okay.
It's forefront in your mind. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, for me, it's just like, how is this happening on the daily, twice a day, and in other forms, not just the clock, but it's just
Well, like
bizarre.
David Wilcock in this book I'm listening to he's literally proving that synchronicity exists, and he can track like where other people, because he takes his information from everyone else and then forms an opinion on it, kind of thing. And he talks about how like every 1,125 years there is the same recycled bullshit, and it happens like every 50 years. Things fucking history repeats, and it's literally like a real thing that they can track and have noticed in so many times in history. This has happened. That's why, you know, with Rome falling, we could see America fall. Like this whole idea that things do repeat.
Oh, we're crumbling. All right.
All empires fall. No empire has ever withstood the test of time in its entirety. China is the longest running empire throughout history, but even that has changed so many forms in its existence. So it's like, is America most likely going to crumble? Yes. And what's probably going to happen is that it's going to become Europe Part 2. Everything is going to break off and do its own shit. The problem with that is that opens us up for invasion and other shit like that, which I don't necessarily know.
Before this, hopefully.
I hope so. I really do.
I also have another argument about it though, because so they said there's only the numbers 0 through 9, and they said mathematically it's implausible that you wouldn't see patterns. Like it has to happen all the time, and it's like your brain's constantly seeking patterns.
So they're part of nature, though.
See, I don't. I don't believe in coincidences at all. Anton does. I do not believe in anything as a coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. I think this is all structured.
That's a person statement, I have to say.
Told you she was gonna give you shit.
Yeah, because I've heard the whole saying, and you have to. I was saying that at one point, and my sister checked me. She goes, "That's a very privileged person thing to say. Everything happens for a reason." Because imagine the people in a third world country who are starving. They are not saying everything happens for a reason.
But
it's the same beef I have with it's all God's plan. It's like, oh, so the genocide and just murder of countless, you know, children and that are starving and dying of AIDS in Africa. That's part of the plan. Well, then God's a dick.
To me, that's not everything. Like for us, even no matter where you are at life, like we have food on the table, we can have our basic needs met. So it's really easy for us to be like, oh, everything happens for a reason. But those people who are like have had horrific things happen to them, I do not think
that's for a reason.
I don't think it's for a reason. I
believe in reincarnation. So those people are experiencing a harsh reality because they chose to when they came here to experience the worst, most horrific shit so they can learn lessons and they can actually supposedly speed up their reality when they go to the next life. And that's my opinion after like shitloads.
Can you imagine saying that to someone who
I would say it to someone? I would.
No,
I would.
If you I would have to slap you across the face like
I'll
your
say
grandpa. I have a problem with that. Those people don't deserve that.
We're here for a reason.
No,
and they don't deserve it. And the thing is, our planet is fucked until people actually realize how crazy these people are in power and the people rise up and actually take down these governmental forms. It's never going to change. The third world could be changed within a year, but they choose not to do that because they rape the nation. They put fucking guns in children's hands and say, go at it. Like all this stuff is set up by these higher elites that are billionaires. Jeff Bezos could take quarter of his money and fix the entire third world.
No, I agree with that, but I don't think it happens for a reason. I just feel like the world is unjust and some people are in a really bad hand in life. And I don't think that happens for a reason. I don't think anyone should suffer like that. I just think, unfortunately, the world, like we have the resources to take care of those people, we just don't. And it's because the people like you, I agree with the higher up, the rich people aren't doing it, but I would never look at those people and think, oh, everything happens for a reason. I was like, hell no. It does not.
That's just my opinion from all the books and stuff I've done research on, is that they're experiencing a harsher reality so they can actually speed up the process of the karmatic universe. And essentially they can ascend to a higher level of consciousness faster than we can because we didn't experience those harsh realities in life as much as them. And the thing is, if I could fix everything, I would.
Don't you think that's easier for you to say from coming from a place of privilege where you're not?
But I wasn't really that privileged. I've struggled my whole life. Maybe not as much as obviously these kids. But the thing is, if I could help everyone, I would.
Privilege versus extreme trauma, Tom. And I know you and I go back and forth on this all the time. Where I agree with you, Amy, that like no, I don't think that it's a It's a first world problem to be able to be like, no, this is this and this is this. You can't tell somebody that has suffered the most traumatic abuse that they've ever had for years. They'll be like, it's okay. It's meant to make you stronger. No, fuck that. If you are stronger because of it, that's not necessarily a good thing. That means that you've had to adapt. And it's going to have a lot of setbacks for you. And it's like, sure, maybe in some regards, your skin is a little bit thicker for some things, but in many other regards, you're so damaged that it's going to be impossible to do certain things and to live a full life because of the shit that you've suffered.
Not my belief, but that's fine. And I don't give it.
I agree. And I feel like it's easy. I think it's, and I'm not trying to like harp on you, but I think it's really easy when you're not the person in that position to be like, it happens for a reason.
Yeah, no,
like,
I understand.
You're living that life of like starvation, not knowing when the next meal's coming, you would not be sitting there thinking this is happening for a reason.
Oh no, of course I wouldn't be. But the thing is, after they don't are able to read the fucking books that I've read. They don't get the knowledge that people over here can get by choosing to pick what they pick up and learn. They have to survive each day. And in my total belief, I believe that you know when you're coming here, you know who your parents are going to be, and then it gets all erased when you're born, and then you live out this life as a cycle, and you learn as much as possible. Everyone wants to know the meaning of life. I truly believe that's the meaning of life, that you're here to learn lessons so you can go to the next life and then keep going until you come to a higher level of reality, because there's supposed to be 13 dimensions that go up, and then the higher you get, you don't need a physical body, and then you kind of become energy, essentially, and you can manipulate like anything. And human beings are easily manipulated. And the fact that the third world does exist bothers me. I just think it's fucking ridiculous that we even have that when there's people, like Jeff Bezos is like, destroy this bridge or my boat needs to go through it. And it's, it's ridiculous that we live in that sort of reality. But I believe this reality needs to exist for souls to be able to have certain experiences that will never happen on other planets or universes, because they don't live that way, because they're not fucking heathens like we are.
But I have a question. So don't you think that your upbringing and the matter of where you are at in life has made you okay with accepting that belief? Because I don't think you would have that belief if you were from a different background.
But you have people poor in India that believe in this stuff. I got a buddy that's he's from India. He has only been here for a couple of years, and it's really poor and bad over there. But he's like, people don't they don't stress about stuff. Like he's like, they read books and they acknowledge they believe in reincarnation and all this stuff, and that they're here for a reason. And some of them struggle horribly, but he was like, they accept kind of their fate. So there is people out there that do have that perspective.
So that's a cultural.
But I think that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like it's very easy to shape your beliefs on what you were given in life, and you were given a life where you don't have to question those things. And so it's easier for you to buy in that. And that's probably shaped your beliefs, where other people in that position, their beliefs would be totally different. And I think that's where, like, sometimes you have to take a outside stance and look at it and be like, am I believing this because I was given this hand in life? Because I feel like you would, if, let's say we could displace you and put you in another place where you didn't have those privileges, you probably would believe something completely different. Could you agree with that?
I know. I'm not saying that's not true. I've gained knowledge because I have the privilege to be able to read the books that I've read or watch documentaries and stuff like that, right? Where in those places, I would think totally different. I wouldn't even be the same person. My experiences would be totally different. But I believe that I'm never not going to believe that we're here for a reason, and that everyone has chosen their path in life, and the path can change, so to speak. But I believe that our higher selves, I believe that we have a higher self. When people are praying, you're praying to yourself, essentially. In my belief, you can only get so much of your soul here, because it would just explode your fucking body, essentially, because it's so much energy. So you're like people that are aware of this. I don't know, like someone like me in the books that I've read, you're able to essentially have your soul doing other shit in other planes of reality while you still exist here. And then I believe in praying to your higher self and stuff like that, is that the person that you are beyond all this physical bullshit. Because I believe that this is just a physical vessel. This is just a vessel for a soul. That's all it is.
Two things. One,
he's like, I'm here.
I was like, I'm gonna let you talk. I was like, I'll bite my lip for a minute.
Your Indian friend, your Hindu friend, is a bad example, because India had thousands of years of a caste system, which reinforces the idea that whatever you're going through is because of your karma, your dharma, your chit, everything in between. Yeah. That's number A. Number B,
I love it.
Tom, don't gain knowledge from the books that you read. And you and I go back and forth this all the time.
Yeah.
You get information that reinforces your reality tunnel that you live in. And I give you endless shit for this.
I gotta keep doing it too. I love David Wilcock and I love David Icke.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
really
you're reading stuff that just confirms, like, it's an echo chamber. And
It is.
I always say I'm guilty of an echo chamber. I live in a bubble sometimes.
She does.
We all
I'll
do.
give her that.
You do too.
I do. I live in my own reality because I take bits and pieces of both views. Frankly, I do. And
Right.
maybe that's not fair or right, but that's what I do. I believe in things I believe that I cannot explain, and I don't feel that I have to if I innately believe it. As long as I'm not doing harm to myself or others.
Yeah.
It's a fuck what I believe, and that's where I stand. But to your point, yeah, I think I do seek out. I have self-help, metaphysical, all the shit of metaphysical bookstore. That's my library at home.
Yeah.
So yes, I am reinforcing what I want.
But we do in human nature, and everyone's guilty of it, and it's even more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we're even more guilty of it now because what you watch, what you consume, social media, is like you're always following stuff that confirms your belief.
Yes.
So that is Google and Amazon's fucking problem.
The algorithm,
Everyone's
yeah.
causing that. So don't get me started on that fucking conversation.
Yeah, because
I don't think that's necessarily where Tom and I would disagree. Tom would say that's by design in order to keep you in whatever.
Right.
I say that's not. That is just the nature of the beast in that, where it's like you create a search engine, you create a Google. And Google used to not offer suggestions as to what you were looking for. But because now it's not a page that you just go to, it's one that you sign into, and it logs all this information. It's like, oh, I'm going to guess based on your past searches what you're looking for. So when you go to look for something, it's going to take you to the areas where it thinks you want to go. So you're not getting this broad spectrum of
paid
You're getting
websites.
an algorithmic, pick for what they think that you want to see. So then you can't, like, that's why you can't tell somebody like, oh, I just Googled this and I found this stuff, because they're going to get taken down a separate tunnel from you based on what it is that they look at.
And that is inherently the problem with news media. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, no, I study this a lot and I teach this. And you hit on something to my soul, which is exactly that, where this echo chamber of information, what is the truth? What is true north now? Nobody fucking knows, because it's only their truth. And that's really problematic. And so I think people like myself who have sought out the other realms, and Tom, we're seeking other answers because we have been given this crazy shit show. I mean, people are hurting. Obviously, look at the shootings. Look at all the shit going down every fucking day, and like we are in pain, and we have no time or space or energy to heal or even process what the fuck just happened to the next tragedy. And so I think a lot of people have like myself included, again, gone to meditation, metaphysical answers, because what the fuck else can there be? There has to be something better. There has to be, like, and that's maybe my own confirmation bias, but like, there's no fucking way I'm willing to settle for that. This is just
the way it is, and I agree with that. And I have massive empathy for people. That's why, obviously, it's my belief that things happen for a reason. It is not everyone's opinion. That's just something I formed after the research that I've done. And I read books and stuff like that maybe confirm what I believe and stuff like that, because I want to learn more. But the thing is, I've seen weird shit. I've had weirdest ass experiences in my life that cannot be explained by rational fucking scientific bullshit. It can't be. So I look to things like, David Wilcock, who takes things from everywhere and says, this is why this is happening, because it's all connected through this, and I can prove it by showing you this. And that's how these things go. The fact that there is people that have been like, even David Icke, someone who brought the reptilian stuff to light. He may not be right about everything, but he was right about a lot of shit. He was right about Jimmy Savile, who was a pedophile.
Everyone was right about Jimmy Savile, though. People
that shit was. I just watched that documentary.
I don't know who that is.
Not cute.
I do have one question off. Do reptilians turn you on? That's what I want to know.
No, not at all. No.
You get wet
Bullshit,
hearing about a reptile. That's what I want to know.
No. Supposedly they think we're disgusting as we would think they're disgusting. I just have a belief that there's things evil and there's things that are essentially demonic, and that if we came from the fucking simian ancestors that they claim that we did, that it would be quite plausible that something else could come into a humanoid form. The most ignorant thought that an intelligent person can think is that we're the only fucking things in the universe, beings, intelligent, talking, walking beings. It is extremely ignorant to think that there's not something else out there.
I think the more we learn about animals and stuff too, we're learning that there's just a communication barrier with a lot of them.
Exactly.
Like they're
and they all connect too.
We are in many ways.
I believe that they use like psychic sort of abilities. Like
I think
animals
it's less psychic and it's more nonverbal cues.
Yeah, I think it's it's just like a communication we don't understand.
Yeah,
they
for
said
sure.
Dogs can like decipher 60 different facial expressions.
That's fucking crazy.
Plus sense, sounds, different things that we can't see. There's so many other like points of information that other animals receive that we don't see. It goes back to the whole, using certain aspects of our brain and our, don't have the ability to see. Like, what was the animal that can see in ultraviolet or something like that? Like, I don't remember.
Or cats or bats?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like jellyfish too.
So I believe it.
Yeah, cats suck. No,
like dolphins. Dolphins know they can rape each other. Like they.
And
dolphins are fucking nasty.
It's fucked.
They fuck.
Tom, when's the last time you went to a primate house at the zoo?
Fuck.
How long has it been since you've been to the zoo?
Maybe like 5-6 years, maybe.
Okay, next time you go to the
I can't go to the Toronto Zoo anymore. I'm not shot it up.
Go to the primate house next time you go to the zoo and just sit there and observe them for fucking 10 minutes and tell me you're not
off, man. That's what they're mostly doing is fucking jerking off.
Yeah, that's what if aliens are observing you, that's what they're saying too. So
that's true. It's very true.
I'm like confirmed that Tom wants a reptilian in his life.
I'm kind of furry.
That's his type.
I want a Palladian. That's what I want.
What's that?
They're like a Nordic race of beings and stuff like that. Blonde hair, blue eyed. It's what Hitler believed in because and it's not.
Don't say Hitler. Go to Blavatsky.
Yeah, Madame Blavatsky. But essentially, it's the race of beings, and it doesn't have to actually do with Hitler. It existed before him, and it's just they're like how different aliens exist, and they're blonde haired, blue eyed, like the most beautiful creatures supposedly in the universe, and they're like the good guys. And
like the fairies in Lord of the Rings.
Kind of shit.
Well,
everything's drip fed into fucking our subconscious, I believe. And that's what I'm saying. Like that people, why the fuck are like, say, I don't know, 100 different people around the world that don't know each other before the internet all see this same fucking thing, this reptilian type creature that they see, that they get abducted by. How are all these people sharing the same experiences and claiming to see the same things? They've never had contact with each other. Same with the gray alien thing, which is the whole idea that reptilians use them as an interface.
It's because Chaos Conf has been a part of genetic memory since the dawn of time.
Oh,
like if we're going in the evolutionary thing, and you and I
this is fascinating, going fellas.
I'm like, I love this. Like, yes, I'm just happy it's on my side. I'm like,
no, it's great because normally I'm getting bombarded by Tom and he's just like, you just don't know. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I got Billy too as a fucking skeptic, so it's annoying. We argued on the Bohemian Grove episode for 15 minutes. I had to cut out.
I felt bad when we did our reptilian episode because I told Tom, I was like, I'll play middle of the road on this one.
You didn't really?
I didn't because too much of it, I was like, that's dumb. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because it's usually just me and Krista, and I'm like, nope.
She makes me feel like a fucking moron 90% of the time.
That is not true.
And
that is not true.
I'm confirming how I feel. Thank you.
Well, I don't believe in that.
It's confirmation bias. No.
What makes me feel like one, because I just innately, again, like I always point to my intuition right here, like my solar plexus, because I just have an intuition about things. And that's actually my real ghost story is about more psychic things than it is about ghosts or paranormal, like that thing. I think there are people with gifts, like I said at the top, in this world. That
I've seen proof of that, so.
I really believe that. And yes, 99% of them are frauds and assholes that hurt people and steal money and hustle people. But I think there are people, variety of people from all over this world and backgrounds and that have a gift. And I'm not saying that mine's honed, but I think it runs in my family. It's matriarchal, and I believe that firmly. I'm working on honing it, but I couldn't tell you.
I believe everyone has that psychic possibility. I believe it's in all of us. and we've buried it. And I do believe that past a certain age, like that's why kids are supposed to be more psychic.
Yeah,
and there's stuff like this that is provable, like the fact that reincarnation could be a thing, because there is children that fucking claim that they were someone else in a past life. I've read books about it, and it's incredible because they shouldn't know any of this information, or they point to a picture and they're like, that was me. Like, what do you mean? They've never seen this picture before. That was me. And it's their grandfather, and they their grandfather reincarnate as the child in the same family. There's been numerous amounts of proof of near-death experiences and children claiming that knowledge and stuff that they have no idea, they would have no idea to be able to grasp this understanding of this stuff. And like I say, and like Amy, like I can be skeptic. I'm just like my whole thing, and I've said this on the podcast, is like, you know what, like everybody love everybody, take nothing seriously, and we won't know until we're dead. Exactly. I won't know any of this shit until I'm dead.
We might not know nothing when we're dead.
I could be, exactly. I could just be in the ground, could be black, and then I won't know any different anyway, so it wouldn't matter. Or I fucking become a fucking physical RX god and I float above the air.
He's not gonna be a reptile at the club, like working at the next life. I just see.
I don't want to eat children. I'm good. I don't want to drink adrenochrome.
So let me ask you this: Have either of you ever had any instances of like precog dreams or anything along those lines? Okay,
I've had a premonition, and I've told you this story. And she hears all my shit all the time. And she's like, God damn it, bitch, again. Yeah. It was my dad's 50th birthday, excuse me. And back in Connecticut, he had a sailboat on a lake that we would go out on all the time. And it was his 50th birthday. So we brought my family, which was my sister, my mom and dad, and then my best friend, her sister, and her mom and dad, who happened to be best friends with them, my parents. Still are to this day. And we're on this lake, which is pretty chill. It's not 4th of July, so there's not too much happening. My dad has the sailboat we're all on. The girls are just chit-chatting below deck. And we're just talking about boys or what the fuck ever. I don't know. We were like teens. And just talking. And I swear I'm looking across at my best friend's sister. And I zone out. And I see the scene of a horrible accident of us all. And I see scene by scene, play by play of my best friend's dad going, watch out, crash.
Like Final Destination shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking, exactly. And I saw it happen literally either as it was happening or right fucking before. And it's really scary because scene by fucking scene, you guys, like her dad was like, watch out. And then crashed what happened was a motorboat actually crashed into the bow of my father's sailboat, and my mom broke her ribs. My best friend's mom had some serious bruising, and I think in the midst of my precognition, I went up to the bow to look and saw her dad on the bow going, watch out, and then bam, and then all of a sudden my nose is on the floor of the boat because I was going to check and try to stop it, I think. And I still have a fucking deviated septum from it. But I swear to God, like
cocaine did that for me.
No, but like scene by scene, like I saw it happening and then it happened exactly how I outer body.
That's like
outer body shit. It was just like woof. Oh my God. And then it happened. And then the next thing you know, I'm in the floor and then I'm on a fucking stretcher with EMTs. On
and like that's also a weird thing is astral projection, which we've done a whole episode about, is like I've tried for a long time, but I'm always scared. I freak myself out. You can essentially set your body in a meditation where you're able to leave your body, and thousands and millions of people have experienced this. And you see the ether cord through your chest. And like I've told Anton about this one story. I can't remember where it was from, but this guy claims it was genuine. He's talking to his friend online in Germany. And then he's like, I'm going to keep trying this astral projection thing. Let's see. Like I've read a lot of books about it. I'm trying to meditate. And he traveled to his friend's fucking room in Germany because he was thinking about him and saw exactly what he was doing on the computer. And then fucking when he woke up, he kind of like came over to his friend. He's like, were you fucking doing this like an hour ago? And he's like, yeah, how the fuck did you know that? And he's like, claims it's like completely genuine. And I believe that stuff does happen. And there's tons of people that have supposedly astral projected to the moon and seen fucking, that was on Coast to Coast, and he's like, guys saw like fucking civilization on the back of the moon and stuff like that, which who knows if that's accurate, but Coast to Coast is a lot of fun.
Yeah, Coast to Coast was awesome to grow up listening to. I've also had a few instances that I can't explain with precog dreams.
Okay.
It's never anything like super significant, like a crash like that or anything. It's always just some mundane bullshit that's going to happen in a day. And I've woken up before, and like first thought in my head that when I wake up, I'm like, oh, today's that day. And my scene plays out later, and it's happened like no less than 3 times for me. Okay. But I don't I'm not one to be like, that's this. I'm just like, that's weird. And I don't know. I'm Native on my dad's side, and we're descended from a line of medicine men, like everybody. So everyone in my family is like shadows, people, this and that. And for me, I'm just like, we also have genetic mental illness, so maybe that's part of it. Like,
right.
You know,
what's your native name, bro?
What do you mean? What's my native name?
Wolffoot.
Man.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in a tribe. I don't have a native name.
Do you know what tribe though? If you don't mind me asking.
Yes, I do. I'm actually Tuscarora. So I constantly bring this up on the show. There's a statue at Niagara Falls that's of Chief Clinton Rickard, and that's my great uncle.
What? That's
Yeah, he was the founder of the Indian Defense League.
Native.
Fuck yes.
Yep. Yeah. So we're Tuscarora and part of the Seneca nations.
Okay, very cool.
Wow, very cool.
I always scream at Anton for using the word Indian, and then he screams, "I am Indian."
Yeah.
So you can use it.
And then that's a picture of my grandfather, my great grandfather.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Yeah. So crazy.
Incredible.
That's why we've done like episodes on like indigenous folklore and stuff like that. And it's fucking crazy.
It's amazing.
Like there's some crazy fucking shit.
They know what's up, and it's like
Skinwalker, like
whitewashed. All that knowledge is lost, and I think that's the problem that we're having right now.
Yeah.
In a very nutshell, I think our Western quote unquote culture cannot keep up with the deep knowledge and tradition and richness that people had to the land. We don't have that.
That's connected to nature. I believe if we could live in a utopia, if everyone was connected to nature and cared about each other, we wouldn't have things like the third world. It's like Africa. Supposedly Africa could feed the amount of vegetation that there could feed like the entire world, but it's like one of the poorest places. It's fucking ridiculous that even exists, right?
It's just disgusting, and I don't know if there's an answer or a solution now. Are we too far in? I hope not. I want to.
No, you fucking send Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, fucking Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden all on a rocket. They can go fucking find out if the Earth is flat.
I say cancel billionaires. That's my
cancel billionaires.
That might be a start.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just think people get so repressed and like, if your basic needs aren't being met, no wonder you're so angry about life.
Yeah.
Like if you,
Amen.
Yeah. So I just, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's a hard talk, especially what's going on now. I believe like they want to keep us so down and low, right? So like you can never formulate a plan on how to actually take down the government or at least fix it because you're too worried trying to get to your paycheck. And they want us living that way. So we never actually figure out how the fuck to, and now it's like governments don't run the world, billionaires do. And then they dictate.
Yes. Oh, corporations and millionaires. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. And to bring it to start bringing it to a close, do you guys have any favorite like ghost movies out of like all of us? Like obviously The Conjuring is pretty good. I've always brought up the Changeling. The original movie is very creepy. That's why Anton, if you got one, if you guys got one, let's see if which of your ghost movies is.
Well, you said one of my favorites. You already said Changeling. So
Changeling, yeah.
I gotta go with The Conjuring too, and I know that they were found out as frauds, but the Warrens are from Connecticut. Woo, woo, shout out. And
I eventually want to do an episode about them because they probably lied a lot.
I'm gonna talk shit.
I'm sad about that they got found out because I really wanted to believe them so hard, but I've seen some shit in those fucking Connecticut woods. Let me tell you what, there's some Revolutionary soldiers still around. Okay, those motherfuckers are still around. So Conjuring.
My favorite, and I'm kind of sad because I thought it was amazing and I kind of revisited it. Is more from my childhood and it's not as good as I remember. But What Lies Beneath? Do you guys remember that movie?
That was so scary.
Is that the bathtub, right? And
yes. Okay.
Yeah, there's always those movies. Right? Yeah, there's always those movies you want to go back to and you're like, fuck, it wasn't that great.
No, yeah, it was incredible when I saw. Like I remember going to see with my mom and I couldn't like. We both were closing our eyes. We're like, is it okay to look? Is it okay to look? And then I watched it now and it's kind of cheesy. It didn't date very well, but that's still my original favorite.
Hell yeah.
There's plenty. Like me and Anton are big horror fans and stuff like that, obviously. And I love horror movies and being scared without about like dying. I'm not going to die watching these movies. Like I like that feeling of being frightened, but being able to control it. Like I don't like heights because if I slip, I'm going to fucking die.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really bad with heights as well. Yeah. But yeah, horror for me is that whole, well, at least it was when I was younger, which is like chasing the fear almost like it's like almost like a drug. Cause I used to be able to just walk through the horror section of whatever movie store and look at covers of VHS and be like, nope, I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
And I would never really watch anything beyond like X-Files or like Tales from the Crypt or Monsters or
got me on some shit. I think that's another part of why I believe too. My dad and I used to watch that shit when I was real little. I was too little to watch that shit, but he made me watch it with him. And I started rewatching it last summer, and I was like, "This is so bad," but I love it. Like the '90s shit. I'm like, I can't stop watching.
It's like Ghost Adventures. I watch it, but I fucking hate Zach Bagans.
I watch so many ghost shows. It's not even funny.
But
My in-laws met and have a picture with him. They just met him recently.
Zach Bagans.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Tell me this.
Yeah, they went to Vegas. Him and Andy.
She knows I kind of secretly love Zach Bagans, even though Amy's a fucking douchebag, obviously. But
Well,
you didn't tell me this?
Yeah, they went to the museum and got a picture with him.
Oh my god! We did an episode on the Monroe Demon House, and I just shit on Zach Bagans the entire episode.
Zach douchebag.
You should, rightfully so.
Yeah, he's a total piece of shit. But I still used to watch that shit religiously every Friday night.
Yeah, and it's still entertaining. Like, I'm more of a fan of Jack Osborne and his show because he's more like, it's called Portals to Hell is one of them. And me and Anton were talking about how he just did a whole thing about Bigfoot with Jason Mewes from like Jane Silent Bob and Clerks and shit. And it was very funny. Yeah, I've met Jason Mewes. He's awesome.
You got Ghost Hunters, which was my go-to for the longest time. I actually got to meet Jason Grant and Steve.
Oh, and they're also from New England.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Shout out East Coast. And lately, my obsession has been Knock Knock Ghost, which is just like my favorite ghost show to ever exist, and it's the queerest ghost show to ever exist. I just found out about it a couple days ago. My roommate told me about it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm in love with this."
It's queer ghost hunting.
Yeah, it's a drag performer that isn't in drag at the time, and then his assistant transitions in season 2. But it's all Canadian, and it's all just really goofy. Like,
I gotta watch this.
Canadian.
Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Like right now.
That sounds fabulous.
It's only 3 seasons, and it is amazing. I highly recommend it. Yeah. Knock Knock Ghost.
RuPaul has gotten me through my divorce in the last few years. What up? So
fuck yeah.
Oh my god, sign me up.
Is it Knock Knock Ghost because they're trying to like knock to get out of the closet? Like, is that the whole premise?
It's Knock Knock.
I want the world to know.
Knock Knock Ghost because they're like, can you knock for us if you're here?
Oh, 1, 2.
Yep, exactly.
Which I there's like weird stuff. Like when I played the Ouija board, like we'll start bringing this to a close. But I feel like my buddy was indigenous and he had like obviously he had the darker skin. So we're like, can you scratch Holden? And then we look and there'd be scratch marks on his arms. I've seen weird stuff like that. Candles blow out, like the usual shit, stuff that I can't fucking explain rationally.
With you guys, when you turned, he was like.
Yeah.
No, he had his
chronic scratcher. Doesn't even realize it.
He had his sweater down too, so he pulled it up, and we're all sitting there like all close to each other and stuff like that. And it was quite strange.
It's definitely completely impossible that he just scratched through the sweater and then was like, oh.
Maybe my buddy called Hitler too, and we thought he was gonna die, but nothing happened to him. He called Hitler, and it started Ouija board started freaking out and shit like that. And it kept saying "hail, hail, hail" really fast, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And then we thought Curtis was gonna die, and he didn't. We're like, you're gonna die when you walk home later, and he was fine.
That's so fucked up, man. Yeah, that's fucked up.
He's like, I just want to see if we can get a hold of this man.
Wait, I have one more question. I know we're trying to wrap up, but after meeting Zach and after meeting the paranormal team, the Ghost Hunters team, do y'all think they're actual believers or are they just doing it for the show?
So with Jason and Grant, I think Jason was the believer. Grant was the one that was really into it. They were very genuine though. I met them at I don't know if you ever heard of Lilydale. It's a psychic community in Western New York.
I feel like I have. I feel like my mom's been there.
They that's where I met them. It's about an hour away from me, but we used to go there quite a bit. I saw a you know what a mandala is, the Buddhist monks, how they make the pictures out of sand. I saw a mock construction ceremony of one of those at Lilydale. It was awesome.
Cool.
I still smoked cigarettes at the time, and I was with a partner, and we went up and we were just shooting the shit because Jason and Grant were standing out back of the amphitheater before the show, and they were very just down to earth, genuine people. Plus, they were always the ones that are like, if we can disprove it, we're gonna disprove it.
And we're doing our job. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think Ghost Adventures throws shit.
They went in from a, you know, the Sherlock Holmes, whatever. When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how unlikely, it must be the truth.
True. Yeah. And they never had anything really paranormal either. It was always just like the build up and the production was really well done. Where, like, as you were probably gonna say, Tom, like Zach is like whoa.
He's always, it's always good. I was making fun because he's like, I don't know why, but I just feel really aggressive right now.
I'm horny right now. Oh, this ghost is gonna fuck me.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And I'm like, bro,
There's
like,
thirsty ghost out there.
yeah, and it's always him where he's like, I'm angry, I need to calm down. And it's just like, and they're supposed to be staff or whatever, their production assistants have like thrown stuff. But the thing is, like, I have a ghost fucking detecting kit, and
Oh my God,
I want to do
yeah.
it.
And it's got like
When
the
he comes down to
yeah.
the States, is we're gonna do a ghost hunting tour for our Patreon and shit.
yeah. Once I get across the border,
Can we invite ourselves?
Yeah.
Come on, we want to do a whole ghost thing recorded for Patreon for all the Patreon listeners and stuff like that. And it is so. And there's like, I just find that kind of like Zach just goes overboard and shit like that. But I have like the ghost box, and it scans your radio frequencies extremely fast, like one per second or whatever like that. So it's impossible for it to overlay supposedly.
Mhm.
And my mom was making fun of me because I was using it in the house. I was like, can you say my name? And she's like, say my name, and like joking with me. And I heard it say my name 3 times in the same female voice. It was like, Thomas. And it was like the exact same tone. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
Ooh,
I
got some juicies on that.
Have you ever seen that? It's a clip that's going around the internet, and it's like, here are the 2 words that you will hear in this sound bite, but you'll only hear them when you're thinking about them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, possibly,
yeah,
Anton.
Or again, the confirmation bias where you're thinking about the song and you turn the radio on and it happens to be on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because it's pop culture, it's top 40. But
Radio stations play the same 40 songs over, you know. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anton, you will be raped by reptilians, so don't worry.
You're
Setting
just
your way.
reinforcing their idea
I
that you're
told
into
you.
reptilians.
Do they have big dicks though? Do they have?
They
dicks?
actually supposedly their dicks deattach and they can become a sword.
Oh my God, I forgot about
That was from we did a reptilian episode. I found the most fucking obscure, stupid information I could because I wanted just to be fun. And one of the things that I found was supposedly, it's probably not true, but the females have a dentia, is what it's called, like a teeth vagina, and it's because they had to develop it because supposedly rape was horrible, and the men would rape all the pubescent fucking reptilians, so they grow these things in their vagina so they could chop off their dick, and then supposedly it says the fucking reptilians have a fucking sword for it.
But if they can remove their dick, what would be the point of chopping it off?
I don't understand that one. That was from the psychic chick.
Anton, great question.
Should we end on that note?
Yeah.
Vagina?
I didn't say it was real. I said it was funny.
Okay, I'm glad there's a clarification on that one.
Yeah. So you guys shout out your stuff. We'll shout out ours, and then we'll bring it to a close.
All right.
Well, we always say peace be witches to end our episode.
Yep,
I
our
like
sign off
that.
is Peace Be Witches. You'll find us on all the socials at Bewitched Banter or Bewitched Banter Podcast and bewitchedbanter@gmail.com.
Fuck yeah. And obviously you can find us at www.strangebrewttv.com. Buy some fucking merch, get on the Patreon. And yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and all the shit. Find Anton at just tell her your shit. I was gonna make it.
Invader Daggett _TTV. Come watch me play some horror games and some fun, bright, colorful, non-horror games. Just when I'm, need
watch
to move
Anton be a banana.
Watch me be a banana. I'm always a banana on stream. That's right.
Right.
HP Shovecraft on Instagram, HP Shovecraft pretty much everywhere. And yeah, keep watching the skies, fuckers.
Yes.
Right.
Stay strange.
And this has been an absolute blast. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for coming on.
It's so much fucking fun.
Yeah,
Hell
really
yeah.
fun.
It's nice to have it even for once.
Yeah.
And
I know. I like the
grow.
debating. It's nice.
It's nice to have someone who lives in the skies with me.
Yeah.
So true.
In
All right.
non-reality.
Stay strange. We're gonna end it.